All right, race fans, we are live tonight, kicking it off here. Should be a good one for the Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. Daytona here tonight, and hey, everybody likes Daytona. Fast speeds, fast times here tonight. So, Wes, I know we've been here, once, but hey, that'll be an awesome race tonight.
Yeah, it ought to be a good one. I mean, high speeds, like you said, expect some pack racing. I want to see these cars 2-3 wides at points, just running mere inches off each other and keeping it straight and giving us a good show.
Yeah, no doubt. Qualifying right now, kind of come closed, and we'll have a little bit of a warm up here. What do you think some of the key things we're going to have to look for at this track?
I mean, really what you want to look out for is your momentum and your runs, knowing when to jump out if you've got a good one to go get another position, or just maintaining your spot. That's going to be a big thing. With these next-gen cars, they're easy to come by, and also that higher up on the track you go, the more likely it is for you to stall out.
Absolutely. And another thing we have to look out here, too, is some of the first-time winners here at Daytona. I mean, this track produces, obviously, today was a good example of that in the real race. Tyler Reddick winning that one, and a wild one. So, hopefully it's going to be a wild one here tonight.
I mean, I hope so. Maybe see a big one. Now, I would want to see a big one because, I mean, it's going to take a lot of cars out of the race. But whenever you go to super speedway like Daytona or Talladega, it's what you expect to see. It tends to happen almost every time we're at one of these super speedways. So, might get lucky tonight.
And, I always say it's not if, it's when the big one's going to happen. So, we'll have to see what happens here. But looks like a little warm-up time, folks. And, it gives us a little time here. I mean, I always talk about Daytona, the epicenter of all things motorsports. It kicks off the season, obviously, the Daytona 24 hours and all. So, obviously Daytona 500, which they ran today. And then we get on with the rest of the races for the season. But tonight, Spartan Sim Racing Master Series, they're kicking theirs off. Open setups. I mean, setups do matter here. I think, you've got, like you said, manage that car. You want to be in the draft. You want to have a good drafting car.
Sorry, I've just seen myself lighting up a lot on Discord, so I didn't know Ghost Audio was coming through or not, but it's not. But yeah, it's going to be interesting tonight, talking about opening setups and whether or not they're meant to push or lead a train. So that's going to be something you're going to want to watch out for. And then, honestly, we saw it with the race today. The exit off of 4, these cars are going to be tight, so you put more wheel into it, and it snaps loose on coming not quite off the transition, but almost about halfway through that little chute between the exit of 4 and the tri-oval, where cars snapped loose. Granted, there was a whole lot of wind going on, but we might see something like that tonight.
Yeah, true. And you can you can reference a lot from the real world of racing over here to the sim racing side of things. Guys look like they're going to set up here, do a little practice run, see how they are in the draft. The draft is the major key thing here, being able to put your car in the right place at the right time.
And it's always, I'm not going to say it's always you don't want to lead the last lap, because typically whoever starts the last lap doesn't finish first on the last lap. But there are some points where it's just kind of been single file because nobody can really get the run they'd want. Or if they get a run, they go up by themselves and nobody goes with them. So you don't want to be leading when you get the white, but at the same time, you might want to.
Yeah, no doubt.
Caution.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you. Last lap, it's anybody's ball game at that point. We'll have to see, but you got to be a little patient here too. Normally we talk about plate races. The first part of it here is really kind of just ride and survive.
Yeah, and that's what, at least, you'll see it a lot in real life. And I mean, I try to do the same whenever I'm running a plate style track. Ride and survive, where you take yourself out of the fray of cars, out of the mess, the beehive, the hornet's nest, whatever you want to refer to it as, and just ride around in the back, staying within draft so you don't have to be full throttle and going through your gas as much, just to hang on with that group in case something does happen. But it allows you a little bit of wiggle room, some reaction time if something does go on in front of you.
Absolutely. Cars are kind of coming off here. We're going to see what these guys can do here tonight. Tyler Cheney's the man going to bring them up here in some warm up, and we'll see what maybe what some of these guys have got. They're going to try to test the waters on, see what they're looking like in the draft. You know, most of the time we see these cars, you know, the next gen style cars, they don't draft too bad. I mean, they have a lot of downforce to them, so I reference them to the trucks a lot and whatnot. But I really feel like this car might have maybe a little bit more downforce than what the truck has.
I think they do just a little bit, and that honestly creates some massive runs for them as well. And maybe even, I don't know what the rule is here with Spartan with a 2-car tandem drafting, but we might see that tonight as well. It was honestly one of my favorite ways this speedway was run, where you just see several different 2-car teams nose to tail the whole way around pushing each other.
Yeah, that was back there in the day. And obviously you had your big horsepower days and then the pack days. And I mean, they're still running a pack here. Now, obviously, I watched a little of the highlights of the real race. You know, they stayed pretty side by side, 3 wide a lot throughout that race. Normally, these cars are kind of, a single file at a time, and I think we will get that, you know, as the race goes on. But yeah, again, drafting, I think it's going to play a huge part here. You know, who you work with, that's another thing. You know, how well, because this is an open setup. Are you setting your car up to be a pusher or a puller?
Yeah, pushers typically at Daytona, I'd say if you're behind somebody, your car's going to be a little bit tighter. So if you're a designated pusher, you work your car a little bit more on the loose side, whereas if you're a puller, you might be a little bit tighter as well. Now, that could have been totally wrong, and as the pusher, you want to be loose. As a puller, you want to be tight. Not exactly sure. But either way, whether you're pushing or you're sitting in front being the puller, you've got to be able to control your car whenever you give or receive those bumps.
Evan chilling out there said, hadn't drove one since the 21st. Should be a fun getting used to the car again. Yeah, I mean, which, you know, Daytona is, I don't want to say it's a relaxed race, but obviously it's a race that, you know, getting back into the car, yeah, because, yeah, you can actually, you know, if you want to be out front, and there's some guys who like that, want to be out front, great. There's some guys, you know, running middle pack. Some just want to hang out in the back. And so you can kind of pick what you are. And I always talk about textbook drafting, Wes, you know, kind of hood, half a hood off of each other throughout. Right now, it looks like they're trying to test whether or not how much pushing and they can do, you know, we'll see more of to the final laps or so forth. But what I am seeing right now is they're able to push a little bit. You know, I talk about it pushing in the wrong times, the turns, tri-ovals, stuff like that. You know, bump going wrong. I'm seeing it right here that not too bad being able to bump. He said 23 and the 18 right there hooked up pretty good. And he's not upsetting the 18 a lot by being on his back bumper.
No, and that's something I kind of experienced with not Daytona, but Talladega on Wednesday. It is possible to push all the way around this track without dumping the car in front of you. Now, your temperatures are going to skyrocket doing so, and you're eventually going to have to back off and maybe poke your nose out to get some clean, cool air into the radiator and such. But it is possible, And then along with something we also talked about, knowing how to set up your car for whenever you're in the pack and whether you're pushing or pulling. Another big thing that's going to come to play is teammates out there and who you can work with. You're gonna need to find them quick. If we're under green flag stops, find people that you can trust. Get into pit road as close together as possible, and get off of pit road as close together as possible. And right there, you kind of see the two-car duo of Smoky Mountain Racing as well as the 54 of Hostile Intents Tyler Cheney, kind of showcasing what you need to do on pit entry, where you get down off of 4 and just kind of fan out so you're not running over each other as they brake.
Yeah, there you go. So right now you see the top guys here rolling, looking good. Oh, you definitely don't want to get on that apron like that.
No, you don't want to do that. And here you see them kind of do the same. They're kind of pit entry. And I mean, you can push it hard in this pit lane. When I was doing practice runs at Talladega with pit entry, I checked up way too early. And I can tell you, whenever we were doing it, I might have been leading the pack as we pulled off of 4. But once we hit the line, I was probably dead last in about 9 cars.
Yeah, when we were just sitting here talking about how kind of stable the cars are, I mean, obviously you get on that apron like that, it's definitely going to unstable them. And, that's where the rule comes in. Don't go below the yellow line. So you definitely don't want to do that. But, again,
I don't think that's the track we're running tonight.
No, that's not the... Actually, I have heard, I think they actually have stopped the Roval at Charlotte. Well, that's the Daytona, but I think we talking about road course races, just came to mind about the Roval, but I don't know where he's going. He's trying to find a new way around the track. With Jorgensen.
A place to park and find a good place to spectate.
Well, it looks like we're coming to close here. A little warm up here tonight, Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. Let's see what we got on the grid here. Because it ought to be a good one here at Daytona. As always, pace yourself early on. It gets really thrilling towards the end. So hope everybody's having a good weekend. As we're going to flip this thing over here to the grid real quick. Let's show it up here on the top. Alexander Hammond, the man, going to be out front. We got Salter going to start right there in second. Latham going to start in third. Grusmacher going to be the man there in fourth. Jorgensen starting fifth. Zozak starting in the sixth. Cheney starting seventh. Olmacheski there in the eighth place. Hyatt starting ninth. We got Ginningsman starting in 10th. I didn't forget their names. The hallelujah all the time. But off. Medina starting in 11th. Gerlach, he's the 12th place man. Let's look back here in the 13th. We got Boyles. Sanchez there in 14th. Carr starting 15th. Westwood in 16th. We got Vince in there in the 15th spot. Kind of flipping around on here, folks. Bender sitting in the 20th. We got Okafor, cool name there, sitting in the 21st. Nicotera there in the 22nd. Holloman, he's in in the 23rd. Clore in the 24th. J.P. Jones 25th, and Gardner back in 26th. So maybe a couple new names out here, too, and obviously all the familiar ones here. But, yeah, I talk about qualifying in a nutshell here at this place, Wes. It really, to me, it's more about bragging rights than anything.
I completely see what you're talking about. Typically with super speedways, it's anybody can win because it's basically the same thing for every driver. There's no real strategy. You're flat out doing very minor turns every single lap and just taking a run and racing smart. So it kind of can be seen as who's the luckiest, stuff like that. It's not really seen as a true win, say at like a mile and a half or a short track or a road course where driver skill comes into question. But honestly, I think it's the complete opposite. You're so close together at such high speeds that you've got to be on your A game at all times. Well,
and Daytona is just so prestigious. Everybody wants to win it. I think you look more in the Talladega, but Here we go. Pace truck, man, about to duck off. Lights off, man, up front. Hammond's right there with Salter. Those two guys, man, about to take us to the green flag here at Daytona for the Spartan Sim Racing League. Pace truck's in. They'll come to the restart zone here, and we are racing at Daytona.
There we go. Nice and orderly from the whole field. Grootsmacher, though, really... Sorry, I just accidentally muted my mic. Grootsmacher really on the backside of Salter, trying to get him moving, but no dice rolling at the moment. It's going to allow the whole inside line. Like I said, top side is just so hard to keep momentum. The inside line already front 5 cars clear of the top lane.
Yeah, it's going to become a complete opposite. Like I was referencing today, man, in the real race, there's 2 wide, 3 wide here. Yeah, that top side's going to need a lot of help. We've seen it in the past. You know, it can get going. The side draft kind of helps out. Obviously, depending on how, you know, who's up front there on the top side, kind of pulling that freight train. Right now, you see Hammond's out front. He's going to lead the first lap, but that's Salter on the top side there, struggling a little bit, but at least they are nose to tail for the moment. A good-looking pack, like you said. I mean, everybody's just kind of keeping patient. You know, again, always looms around on that big one. And we talked about Grootsmacher there for a second. You know, we talked about qualifying. You know, here at this track, it's more bragging rights, but go figure. Here tonight, he's got a good qualifying effort on a track that he could have came from the back to the front.
Yeah, another one with that is not just Grootsmacher, but look directly below him on track, there's Ginningsman.
Yeah.
We also tend to see come from the back to the front of the race. He had a good qualifying effort, so let's see if he can turn that into a win.
You know, but then on the opposite flip side, you got Shane Clore right here. We're used to seeing him, you know, just battling up front, which, I mean, hey, look, it's Daytona. He's going to be there, but he's right back here in the 20th spot. And, you know, bringing that up, that's strategy. Some guys, a little checkup right there, too, on the inside kind of accordion. But some guys like, you know, they feel comfortable out front. They want to ride. Some feel a little bit comfortable in the middle. They play that, let me fall back to the back game and kind of ride back here in case a wreck does happen. Hopefully I can avoid it.
Yeah, and it's honestly just driver preference at that. Some people, they wait to see whatever happens in front of them, see what happens. Personally, I'm in the back. I'll tell you that. I like this kind of back, but if I see, like, hey, these guys are extremely slowing, they're probably saving gas, I'll try to move my way up front. And there are just some people that, I don't know how they do it, but they'll get momentum, make runs out of nothing, just come flying up through the field. And then right here, I think Grootsmacher might be content with just pushing on the 28 as it sits right now of Salter. And then that whole inside line, I don't think they're giving up at all.
No, and I'm with you there, too. And I agree. I used to love being in the back. My only problem is while I was riding in the back, and we're going to see that is, if you're sitting there riding, and the next thing you know, the draft kind of just slowly but surely pulls you to the front. And normally what we see like that high side right now with Salter, if he was to get up there, I guarantee he's going to drop down to the bottom. And what I always call that is kind of like it's just a conveyor belt. You know, the top side guy drops the bottom and goes back, and they just kind of go round and round and round. So eventually, if you're riding in the back on the bottom, you're going to end up at the front or riding to the top, and it's just not where I felt comfortable riding at. But again, some of these guys out here might. I mean, you can see just a lot of patience going on here. I call it the textbook style drafting. But also with that, Wes, and we mentioned that in the warm-up, was I'm seeing these guys being able to put a little pressure on the car in front of them and not upset them like they used to.
Yeah, also amazing to see because it allows runs to happen a lot quicker. Right here, we're actually seeing Salter. He's kind of making a resurgence towards the front with side drafting with the 4th car on the inside of Tyler Cheney. And it's just something that's amazing to see. I mean, if you can get a couple cars hooked up nose to tail without unsettling the car in front of you, creating a whole giant wreck in the big one, you can make up some good amount of time and positions.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. And you know, a lot of A lot of too is, they talk about it in the real world, the manufacturers, et cetera, et cetera. I don't really think a lot of that here on the iRacing side of things. Matter a lot. You see Grusmacher right there, going down to the inside, trying to get behind Genningsman. Those two guys going to hook up, see what they're doing on the bottom. Probably feels a little bit better, but on the iRacing side of things, everything's supposed to be equal. I really never got a definitive answer on if there's a huge amount of difference between the cars. I mean, unlike there is in real life, but it's more the setup here tonight, I think, than anything. I think as far as car goes, they should all draft pretty good.
Yeah, and in real life, it's really about the nose and the tail end of the car that really depends on what the draft.
Yeah.
The old Chevy, that nose was kind of pointed to where you had no choice but to hit it perfectly dead center or else whoever was in front of you. Whereas with the Toyotas and the Fords, they kind of had a little bit of a nose that allowed them to push a little bit across each rear bumper.
Yeah, coming up on lap machine here too. We'll see what happens. Usually they're only too wide, so it won't be too bad. But you're right. It's all about how they're able to draft and whatnot. Right now, Hammond's out front, just feeling comfortable with Latham right behind him, Jorgensen right there along with him. But so that high side still kind of just maintaining. I'm not saying that they can't get to the front. Maybe they're just riding up there, seeing what they can do. We do know that, like what you mentioned earlier, that high side is definitely going to need some help to get going. Then we're going to see somebody take it at 3 wide later on.
I mean, I hope to see some 3 wide action eventually, but feeling it's going to be really, really late into the race before we see that.
Yeah, I mean, right now would be a little bit, unless you just wanted to test the waters just to kind of see what your car would do. But, you really just don't want to obviously get yourself in trouble. We see right now, right along with a couple guys here, we got Joshua Hyatt on board with him, seeing what he's got. And again, everybody's been patient, just riding. Cars look pretty stable from the inside here.
They do. I mean, there's small twitches in the wheel just to make sure, like, hey, I'm not. And I like what they said on the broadcast with the actual IRL racing caution. That corner, you kind of see them back off each other to give each other room, and because of the cars moving around. And those little twitches of the wheel, it's the car being affected by the dirty air in front of them, the dirty air beside them, wind if it's on the track right now, just a whole bunch of factors. So, while yes, they can't be right up on top of each other and push, it's also sometimes better to have a small gap. Meanwhile, while we've been yapping around, that outside line come back.
Yeah, when we saw those inside guys, they were down there, they were just being patient, and exactly what I said earlier. Guys get out front on that top lane, they go instantly down on the bottom, but you can still see the gaps between that bottom lane kind of was splitting up just a little bit and allowed that top lane to get going, and that brought a new leader out front, a Salter, along with Cole Macheski, so we'll see how comfortable they feel up front. But it seems like once you get on that top side, you don't want to stay committed to the top side. And another thing I noticed, one major difference between the sim world and the real world, we'll say it like that, is in plate racing, where in real life, and you saw it really huge play a factor in the Xfinity race, is controlling the front of the field between the two lines. Really doesn't work that well in the sim world. iRacing has, for some reason, hasn't got that figured out. Real world, yeah, you can control both those lines beautifully, but I've seen guys do it here, and actually it hurt them. Right now Salter doesn't have to. He can stay down low. We don't have any fear of the outside lane, but later on in the race, you might get to that point, Wes, where you would think you are. And I've just seen 9 more times out of not on the sim side, it kind of hurts your momentum more than anything.
Yeah, and that's not something I've seen much of. I haven't witnessed a lot of super speedway races from this perspective on iRacing. In fact, I've only ran very few as well. But that's some good news to hear, at least, that you can't really manage the lanes like we saw on the real side, where, you know, they've got 2, 3 wide, and you see the leader, he's dunking up, going up, coming down, just trying to keep everyone behind him. So not being able to do that might play a fact of how much of a run the outside lane can get if they've got the momentum. But right now, it's just fade back.
Yeah, we see the top lane fade back. We'll see if it actually gets some more momentum coming back to the front. And just to touch on that too, when I'm referencing that, I'm referencing it to it obviously with the fixed side of things. Now this being an open setup out there for anybody that's new that's watching, where these guys can actually do their setup on the car. It actually might play a little bit different factor, because there are some things that play a little bit different when you calculate in different setups, different different car mechanics and whatnot. The guys how they set their cars up on the track. Hey, look, don't want it to be loose, want it to be a little tight, don't want it to feel better in the pack, out of the pack, up front, so forth, so on. As we see the 23 right there, a little move. Who's that? Justin Boyles, excuse me. And he's got the Marlboro car behind him. I like that paint job. I don't know, I just like that paint job.
I'm glad to see it back in goal. We talked about it for race before the crew. It's good to see Medina running that Marlboro scheme once again. I know back when he was running it week in, week out, before we kind of got into our team races, which version he's going to come out with next. And I'll tell you what, this white gold and the black is so clean. I do not hate it the slightest. I'd be happy him just running this the rest of the season. Yeah,
I do too. The black and gold Marlboro one there, I don't know, it kind of pops. It looks cool. I do like how the yellow, white, and the black, man, it blends it. But it's kind of one of my favorite color combinations. Maybe throw a little orange in there, but I know that's not Marlboro's colors. But those color combinations are really kind of like how they do. I think they kind of pop and match each other. And you can see right now we're watching from I call it the blimpy cam. Kind of gives you a good perspective of just how far back these cars are, the racetrack, and really right now just how patient they are on track. I mean, just the guys are riding, and really just boom, a little bump draft there on the back stretch by Cole Macheski, but no urgency is the word I'll use here for Cole Macheski to try to dive to the outside and try to take it over and say, look, it's just way too early.
Yeah, and I mean, if you really want to compare it to like a very aggressive type of super speedway race, you can go back to the first race of the season. The drivers were everywhere. Everyone was all take, no give. And I mean, they were wrecking consistently. Now I think they kind of learned from it. It's a lot calmer status as Cole Macheski kind of gets moved out of line, and he's going to drop all the way to the back.
Might be by design.
Maybe, not completely sure, but it's just good to see these guys play a patient game, just ride around a bit. And Boyles, meanwhile, he's got a rocket ship out of nowhere.
Yeah, the side draft really, side draft really goes well right here in this track, and it doesn't like Cole Macheski's going to say, you know what, let me just drop back here to the back, see what I got, see, kind of see if, just going to kind of go back here and ride a little bit. He'll give you a view of what it would look like inside, or if he was at the track itself. The big 2.5 mile track here tonight, Daytona. And that's kind of how far back you'd be a little bit if you was in the stands. You had to get the binoculars out on it.
I mean, I wish I was sitting higher up when I was down at Talladega next year, because I'll tell you what, I saw nothing on the backstretch.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Because I was level with the track almost, and I couldn't see over any of the campers on the infield.
Wow.
But it's, like you said, you're going to need some binoculars to see just how far away the backstretch is. Because you'll just see the cars as these tiny little dots just going around, and it's hard to make out who's who.
Not to say it's not an experience to go to, but I think I'd much rather probably want to go to a shorter style track, the way you get that kind of awesome feel and, really see everything there too. So right now, Salter, the man up front, he was able to bring down high side to life and get up there. He's out front here with Hammonds. in tow behind him. Latham's there with him. Jorgensen. We got Cheney, Genningsman there in the 6th place with Grusmacher along with him. Hyatt, Barr, and Westwood. It's top 10 for the moment. And the biggest thing is, and we also got to look, we've been off a little bit here at the Spartan Sim Racing League the past several Sundays, throughout the Super Bowl and the Christmas time and all that stuff, and New Year's. We're getting past a lot of that stuff, but it's been a little bit since some of these guys have been in these cars, so getting back familiar with how they drive and things like that.
Yeah, and some people said, and I think you touched about it early on, about how they need to get back and adjust to these cars because it's been so long. Now it's only been 2 weeks, but some of these guys that are in other leagues that aren't these specific next-gen Cup cars, they might be in trucks, they might be in the Xfinity or the O'Reilly series, whichever you want to call it on iRacing, or they're in an older generation of the Cup cars. So it does take a little bit of getting used to these cars once you got to hop back into them.
Absolutely. Westwood trying to bring the high lane to life, and he's going to be able to, especially with the way they're riding on that bottom lane. They're not really tucked up, so he's going to get some momentum with the high side right now. Seeing if maybe he can get up here, and if he drops down, take some lead right along with him. You got Vince in there too, holding the spot with him. They closed the gap up just a little bit there. You see good old Vince and Salter there. Does Westwood drop down on him?
I'm not exactly sure what Westwood would be here. I mean, Vincent's pushed him a good amount. He might just wait for that 33 to be clear before making the move down low.
Absolutely. Let's see if he pulls Vincent along with him and still got the high lane going. Side by side, a lot of patience. The car's not jumping around. So, when you touched on that earlier, you can stay tucked up on that back bumper, but definitely, it will overheat your car. So you see him kind of dive a little bit out, to the outside or inside. Let's get a little bit of air on the nose of the machine. But other than that, they look pretty stable right now.
Yeah, just a little bit. And I think a lot of these guys actually might be content. Right there, you see Westwood and Vincent both clear. Westwood, he's going to drop down with, I think that was the 37 that followed him. Now the 37's a lap down, so he's not marked as being second place. Zozak,
Yep.
Dropping down, and that's just going to create a whole line right there of
the 33 machine. Well, 33 is Vincent, my bad.
Yeah, the 37. Thought they were all teammates, but I was wrong.
Now, you bring that up, too. That's another, key thing here at Daytona. Teams, you definitely need somebody to work with. Normally, when you talk about other tracks, about speed and, how fast and how good set up your car is. This track, a lot of it is about you have to have a helper or a partner to help you. Now, with that said, can you still win without one? Absolutely, you can. But it makes you feel a lot better when you got somebody behind you that you're confident enough with, and I would say maybe a teammate or something.
Yeah, that's the big thing that you would prefer. But sometimes you just can't find them on the track, so got to make do with what's there. And some of these guys, I know some of them right now, I'm looking through the drivers' channels. There's a couple guys where it's only 2 of them compared to like these 4 3-car teams. There's even hostile intent right now. Cheney's the only one driving.
Yeah, right now you do see it. You see Salter, man, along with it there in second. Vincent, man, is the man out front. Hammond's along with it there in third, with Latham in fourth. Boyle's up to fifth. Now you're going to see these cars, man, back and forth a lot. Some guys come to the front. We talk about guys coming to the front. I mean, Vincent's up 17 spots already. Gardner right there, ninth, up already 17. J.P. Jones up 10. So you can come from the back, and go to the front.
Yeah, but that's just I know you called it the conveyor belt. I call it an escalator, just because once you do eventually get to the front on the high side and come down, if that just keeps on happening, you're going to recycle to the back and come back up to the top and make your way back up again. But right now, it looks like everybody's single filed, only 2-3 cars actually on the high lane trying to make something happen.
Yeah, they're gonna fall. I've always said before, like a rock in water. So we'll see if they're able to get something going. You got Genningsman there along with it, man, with the Gruschmacher, Westwood, who was up front a minute ago, Cheney right there sitting in 7th. And you're going to see guys, that are up front and dropping back a little bit. There's a back and forth style race. And I call it as an accordion, back and forth. You just never know what's going to happen. But solid running so far here tonight, man, between all these guys. We're lap 27 of this one, and we talked a little bit about patience is the key here at Daytona, and drafting that too. Patience early on, that is. Obviously, when you get down to the final laps, just forget about it. Patience is out the door at that point.
At that point, it's no give. You always talk about give and take here on super speedways. How much are you going to be patient? How much leniency are you going to give the other drivers? And that's not just at super speedways. That's at any racetrack, really. But as the race goes on, like say at the very start, you're most likely going to be smart and say, hey, this guy's faster. I'm going to give him room. He can take the position. But as you get down like 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, couple laps, like a handful or so laps to go, it's all take. You're not giving up any inch of room. Any type of momentum change you see where you're better, you're going to push it and try to get your way to the front. But right now, just be easy, boys. You got no reason to fight for anything. Everybody's single filed out. Just enjoy the ride.
And I think a lot of it too here is getting maybe set up for some pit stops, maybe first green flag pit stops. And we talked about who do you work with. This is the number one track where you do not want to come on pit road by yourself. That's kind of like a death sentence here. You're pretty much. You're going to need help if you via caution if you get caught coming on pit road by yourself, because you're going to get freight trained real quick. So kind of start downs where you're starting to pick and choose and who you want to go. And we go back to that reference of manufacturers. A lot of times teams and manufacturers will work together.
Yeah, and it's in NASCAR, at least, you have the whole drivers meeting, you have the team meeting, you have the car itself meeting, but then there's also a manufacturers meeting, and that's the real important one you look at whenever you come to the super speedway. Because
Yes.
I know we didn't see it today with real life, the real side, but there are points where you only have 3 different pitting groups, and it's just all Toyotas, all the Fords, all the Chevys. And that's just because it's like, hey, we're going to go based off whoever is the first to run out of fuel. Everybody's going to go with them. Make sure you're lined up when you can. If you can't make it, find another big group that you see pitting, go with them, and hope y'all can converge back together. But I'm not exactly sure if these guys talk like that.
If you're in the team channel, you can. What's going on, Tom? How you doing, man? I tell you what, yeah, we're tonight here live, Spartan Sim Racing League, the Master Series, talking about a Daytona. And again, I think they're getting set up again for those pit stops here. Vincent's been the man up front. You said since a single file freight train, we've been talking about that. I think as a team, you might be saying, okay, look, obviously, if you've got, two of your teammates up front and you're sitting way back in the back, it might be a little harder to reference that and so forth and so on. You might go, okay, yeah, I'm going to come in with you. I don't know how much the teams do work together. Again, it also depends on here being an open setup that this is, so the guys can do their setups. How the car's set up, how much their fuel mileage is going to go. So, that's going to play a huge factor in when these guys make their pit stops, when they're going to come in. But again, right now, very patient on the track, man. My hat's off to them. I know Dave up our man in the box is sitting there going, I'm loving it. And finally take a nap during the race.
I mean, that's something you definitely want to do. You're not having to stress about, like, who did this, who did that. Wrecks every 2 laps, trying to figure out who's at fault.
Anyways.
DOL. So this kind of little calm effect, it's nice to see. But I guarantee you, once green flag pit stops start, that might be thrown out the window.
Yeah, and I'll talk about a lot of times in other tracks where green flag pit stops are. Green flag pit stops usually are the number one thing that splits a field up if they're really running kind of in a pack or so forth. Not so much at Daytona. Now, I mean, it can, depending on when the pack comes in, but there again, usually they get bunched back up. I mean, we have seen it in the past where you get to kind of like, clusters where you have, 5 or 8 cars together, then it breaks it up, and another maybe 5 or 8 cars in the back or 10 cars or whatnot. So, yeah, it can do it here too, even on a plate track, but it's really prominent when you go to like other tracks, Charlotte, Atlanta, or something. Green flag stops really break up the field, especially if you've got a pretty good lead. If let's say you've got a second lead on the guy behind you. Usually on a green flag stop, when you come out, you've got a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds on him. As we're talking about pit stops, man, look at this high lane.
Yeah, they kind of got a resurgence. You had a couple guys poke their noses out, and then just people saw the momentum coming, jumped up to run with them. Now side by side for the lead. But with what you said on pit stops is, if you go in and you might go in all bunched together, but if you come out spread apart, the pack is going to eat you up, and the longer it takes for y'all to get back connected, the more time you're going to lose.
Whew. Well, Boyles, man, dropped down there on the inside, kind of accordioning up that bottom lane a little bit. Guys had to make a little evasive action there, but Justin Boyles takes it to the top part. We saw that high lane come to life a little bit as he goes to the top side there with the Westwood. Got Carr. Here comes the Barboil man up on the top side there, too, trying to see if he can't pull those 3 machines with him. There's still some good single file racing so far here at Daytona.
It's good to see, and I just got to check something real quick. Sometimes only at 3 p.m. Okay. I was about to say, it looks like it might be turning into night by the time this race is over, so they're going to have to deal with sunset.
Overcast, ain't it?
Sure. It definitely is overcast.
Yeah, and we bring that up. It's not so much a factor when you're on the fixed side of things. I mean, yeah, it does factor in with tires and so forth and so on of how they handle. But here with the fixed setup, you use that data of, okay, how's the track changing? What adjustments do I need to make? Now, on plate races, how much adjustments do? You don't want to go too far or don't want to go not go enough. On here again, you want to try to stay close to what you are, especially if you've got a good drafting car as of right now. Not really seeing a car out here that's not drafting well at the moment.
No, you don't. It's kind of obvious because whoever jumps up to the top, it's not the same cars every single time. So you can see they're all able to kind of mind their own, whether they're at the very back of the pack or if they've got someone behind and in front of them, someone to their outside, someone's just behind them. All these cars are pretty much settled. They're about equal, I'd say. So I don't know if I can tell you who's going to win it already.
Yeah.
I would say it's up to anybody in this field.
Yeah, and then that's one of the main things when you come to the plate races at Talladega, Daytona, and all. So right now, Justin Boyle's the man out front with Westwood. See, maybe 3 machines up on the top side. You got Carr along with them too. So, and we were talking about bring them to the front. You got Boyles up 12 spot, Westwood up 14, Carr's up 12, and Vincent there at 14. So that's the top 4 who have climbed up from the back to the front. And so we're talking about that qualifying effort, but it doesn't really. It's kind of a mixed bag because you think, well, man, those guys up front are really fast, and then you see the other guys, Cole McCheskey's back at 25th, but that's probably by design on Cole McCheskey's part. He wants to be back there, and that's the number one thing you see at plate track races.
And honestly, I wish I could tell you what exactly is going to be the best, but
yeah,
like
I've seen it work and I've seen it not work. Yeah, I've seen that backside plan work, and I've seen it not work. And I'm with you on that one there too, Wes. I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You never know what's going to happen. If the big one happens up front, maybe you got a little bit of time to react. If it happens kind of mid-pack, closer to where you are, you usually don't have a lot of more time to react to it, and you get caught up in it. So, yeah, I've seen 50-50 on it.
There's also the fact that if you're too relaxed in the back, you're not full throttle and keeping within the draft. You can lose the draft, and all of a sudden, there goes the pack, zooming away from you.
Oh man, and that's the worst feeling in the world, because you just feel like you're just inside of mud, and that car's going down real quick and quick. Or it's not really quick, but it's actually going down really slow, and like you're in quicksand. You're sitting there thinking, man, I could get back up there, and the car just will not do it. See, the high lane tried to get a resurgence there a little bit to try to surge through the front, just nothing going. They're still maintaining up on that top side. Looking pretty good. Is this a new guy out here? I'm going to say Jude Okafor.
Okafor, yeah, I think he ran one or two races early on in the season, but we haven't seen him since.
Well, it's always good. We talk about sim racing as a whole. Most of the time we see a lot of the people over here in the States, in the U.S. side. But, Genningsman we know is across seas. I forgot where he was at. But looks like Okafor is himself, too, from across seas there. So it's always good to see, man. All over the world, people, man, watching and participating in racing. Well, Boyles feels pretty comfortable out front right now.
I'm sorry, I completely missed that.
I'm just saying Boyles looks pretty comfortable out front right now.
He does, and here we go. Here comes pit stops. A couple drivers pulled off.
At least about 5 or 6 of them did. Starting with Vincent, Hammonds, Nicotera. Cole Macheski there with them too, was right in the back. Janey and Salter.
Now it's time to see what are they going to do. Is it just going to be gas and go like we see on the real side? I mean, Vincent's, he's putting on right sides. Is he going to go all 4? Yep. He does. So most likely going to see the same out of all these drivers. Hopefully they can stay with each other on pit exit.
Now, another crucial thing here that I see a lot of, obviously with the amount of laps that we have here tonight, yes, they're going to change tires. But I have seen in the past, we've seen a whole slew coming on pit road now. I have seen in the past, and we got trouble on pit road. Boyles, Westwood. Let's see if I can't find out what happened to Boyles here. Let's see.
I mean, these are the two leading the field onto pit road. It looked like it was almost the rest of the field that didn't hit that first time.
He's coming on pit road. He looks fine there. Oh, it looks like Westwood locked him up, and they both locked him up. Ooh, luckily, man, nobody got into him. Wow.
Yeah, and I thought they completely ran each other over, which is something you see whenever it's a large group of people pitting at the same time.
Yep.
That's something that can happen. That's why it's important to practice those pit lane entries. Get spread out as you slow it down, but they just kind of locked it down and spun on their own. Yeah,
they did. Puts a great car out front who has yet to make a pit stop. These top 7 have yet to come in right now, along with, you got Carr, Latham, Jorgensen, Genningsman, Hyatt, Bender, and Carr. So we'll have to see just how much that hurt Boyles, who, definitely is just now coming off pit road. He'll catch the tail end of the pack here. You see those top cars coming on pit road now. Phillips coming off. I think Sanchez and company. This is this big pack here. They're going to catch Phillips and them, and Phillips actually is going to come out pretty good here.
Yeah, not too bad. And here, honestly, on the real side at least, they'll kind of one high, one low, make the faster cars kind of serpentine through them to try and slow them down where they don't fall too far back. Say they're pretty up to speed here, probably should slot in perfectly, and they do. Now it's kind of just trying to see where's that main pack that Boyles and them came in with.
Yeah, the unfortunate side is Boyles obviously and Westwood went a lap down. They were in the pit lane for a lot of time, 55-second pit stops, and Westwood in there for a minute 26. So definitely not what they wanted to see here early on. We'll see if they're able to bounce back later on. But pit stops here, and the guys who just made their pit stops last with Latham, Jorgensen, and Genningsman are going to almost stay out front now. It's a 3-car tandem with them. They've got this pack coming. And we talked about earlier, Shane Clore. Remember he started back in the back? He's right there in 5th place already.
I almost didn't recognize his car. I was expecting to see the bright orange, but now it's white, gold, and black this time, kind of following along with Medina, which is just an excellent combination on the car.
Yeah, I like that.
The
Change it
Hornets
up a little bit.
Now, if you're those 3 in front of Latham, Genningsman, and Jorgensen, you want to see them 2-3 wide, slowing each other down to where you can possibly stay ahead of them. But with first 3, maybe 4 cars, single file on the bottom, it's going to be tough.
Absolutely. Latham's still out front, but here comes the pack, and we'll see if they'll storm right on by him. And Jorgensen right there with Sanchez. Clore pushing just a little bit. He's the man there in the 29 machine. Actually, Sanchez 29.72 is there. Clore pushing him on the high side. Now we're back to the big pack again.
Here we go. Both clear. Going to move down in front of Latham.
I mean, we was talking about with the green flag pit stop, sometimes it does split them up. I mean, obviously you've got this huge pack all the way back from the top 15. The problem is you look from 15th on back with Carr and them, this is what you get sometimes. They're 4 seconds back, Carr and Hyatt. Those 2 guys, they feel a little lonely back there, and you got another 2 or some odd seconds back. Medina, Cheney, J.P. Jones. J.P. Jones and 5 seconds back with Salter, Kolmacheski. Now, these guys are definitely in trouble and are going to need, pretty much a caution to bring them back up to the front side, because as long as it stays green, really not a lot you can do.
No, it's really not. And it's just because they weren't tight enough together on pit exit, which caused this to spread out. So they're going to need a caution to get with the main pack. But that main pack, they don't want to see the caution. That means there's 4 cars together to fight. And it plays a little bit of games. Meanwhile, right here, you kind of got a little 5-car breakaway, though they should be the rest of the pack run up onto him pretty quickly here.
Yeah,
That's just coming from side by side and side drafting.
Yeah, and trying to get back in line after all the pit stops and so forth and so on. See the high lane right there messing around a little bit on the top side. You got 24 Phillips. See what he can do with the 47 machine there, Okafor. And then on the up top front, though, Sanchez leading with Clore. Along with Latham, Grusmacher, Jorgensen, Genningsman, Carr and company, and we're back at it, just being patient again.
They are, and they're probably going to be this way through every single pit style. Be patient, wait for your time to pit, duck down when you need to. Hopefully you have some guys go with you. Line it back up and go again. And eventually, though, that's going to stop. I mean, these guys, they're going, looks about 40 or so laps for each pit cycle. So last expected pit lap is going to be around 120, which leaves them 30 to go at that point. I'd say they might be a little bit more aggressive, but once we get within 20, 15 to go, I guarantee you they're going to be starting to make moves, starting to block people off whenever they see a run coming.
Absolutely. With Sanchez still leading out front. We're here tonight Daytona, kicking off here. Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. It's been a good solid race so far. We just had some green flag pit stops. So some of these guys hadn't been inside of one of these next-gen cars in a while. And we've had a few weeks off, and we got past the Super Bowl there, which it was a pretty good one. I liked it. And then we just kicked off this, the real racing season, so to speak, for NASCAR. Daytona here was earlier on today. So a lot of things been happening already, sports-wise. I'm waiting for drag racing to kick up, see what's going to happen in that one too. But hey, along with that, also they had the GT3 cars at Bathurst, the 12-hour Bathurst, which was I don't know if you caught the highlight or not there, Wes, but something very interesting happened in that race. They don't really have a lot of full course cautions, being that it's a road race. Sometimes they have like a little sector caution. Has to be something major to have a full course caution, but there was a car sitting on top of the hill of Bathurst, just sitting, resting, and the leaders were coming by, and they didn't give him any indication that car was sitting sideways on the track, and he just plowed that car wide open coming around the top side of the Essence.
I'd be scared if I was that driver. I don't know if we both walked out perfectly fine from it, but I mean, that impact, it was ugly. It should have happened. Exactly sure what the sections are in Bathurst, but probably about 2 to 3 sectors before that, I'd be putting out like yellow saying, hey, slow it down, stop the car.
And we see it here too in the real world here in the NASCAR side of things. Spotters are a big part too. So even some of the guys here on the virtual world have spotters, to tell them, say, look, high, low, right now. The spotter's probably saying you're looking good, car behind you is kind of, drafting a little bit, being relaxed. But, when they get side by side and the driver can't see very much, they rely on those spotters to tell them, hey, look, car's spinning, car's sitting somewhere, so forth. But, something scary like that, it really is kind of odd to see something in real life like that happen, especially with the technology that we have in modern day racing and obviously in modern day in general. To see something, out of the ordinary, because I'm like you, as big as that track was at Bathurst, they should have told way early on, so I'm not sure what happened there. But we even see it on a track like Daytona. I mean, the spotter might say, look, car, wrecking in front of you, the car's down low, you stay high. Next thing you know, by the time you get there, that car's there. So you just never know in the speed of the moment. Going to come up on some lap traffic here.
I think they're just going to kind of tuck up behind, but maybe not. He's just going to sit
smart.
back.
A lot of times. Go ahead.
No, I was going to go to another point.
Oh, well, and real quick, a lot of times you see, you mentioned that when they get that kind of momentum, they try to go around those cars, but sometimes you can't take the guy that you were dancing with around unless the two cars are really, really that slow. And sometimes it's really smart just to sit here, especially this early on in the race, just sit here and ride. And if the two cars in there is not, kind of slowing you down too much, why not just sit here?
Yeah, it's not always a bad thing to do. Like you said right there, the Hammonds and the 37 of Zozak, they were kind of broken off from the rest of the pack. So yes, they had speed on Westwood and Colton Gardner right there, but really not enough to go around them quite cleanly.
Yeah, Sanchez and them smart, and obviously, everybody else behind them patient, too. Sometimes you always get that one guy that says, oh man, I got the run, I can go to the side, I'm good to go. Sanchez right now out front. He's got Clore right there with him. 2 lap machines right up on the front side, but still just everybody being patient. We had our first green flag stops here. So far, clean and green. Yeah, that's the point we're taking here tonight. Good little race. So let's go Brian Holloman. Holloman right now is sitting. Let's see if I can find him for you. He's sitting right there in ninth. It's a comfortable spot there, too.
Comfortable spot, I mean, in the middle of the pack. And right now, everybody's single filed, so it's not really worrying about, like, if the car's going to come take the downforce off your right rear or your right side. It's just managing your gaps. And I was going to go back earlier about what you said about with spotters and their jobs, talking about how spotters kind of help around NASCAR and don't have that incident we had with Gothers. I know some of these drivers, whenever they have a spotter in with them, and I can tell you right now, there are a couple drivers here, in fact, several drivers that do have spotters with them. They'll ask for how close the car behind or in front is. If you're too wide, they'll ask how many cars are in your lane, how many cars in front of you, how many cars behind you. Just, there's almost constant talk at super speedways just because of how fast and how quick things can change. And then going on to the road course side, I experienced this doing the 24 hours of Daytona here on iRacing. I was on a spotter rotation for SMR, the SMR boys, Smoky Mountain Racing. And my drivers were asking me, like, hey, tell me when the prototype class gets within this much of me. Tell me what side they were probably gonna go on. Asking me to look up the track to see who was next in line for them to pass, if they had damage, if there was any type of wreck going on. There's spotters, people think they're just up in the stands enjoying a race for free and getting paid for it. No, they put in a lot more work, and it helps stuff like this happen. Right now, they might be a little bit more relaxed, but you know, some people are going to be asking, like, hey, is there a possible run coming? How far behind is the car behind me?
Yeah, that's a good point too, you know, and like what we just saw with the leaders coming up on these 2-lap cars, that's where the spotters telling them, say, okay, well, I mean, you got an opportunity if you want to go around them. If not quite sure what's going to happen with the other guys behind you, but maybe stay tucked up behind them. And that's where, you mentioned it, spotter plus the crewman too. I mean, which not so much in the iRacing side, you know, you don't have a crew chief in your ear. I mean, there are apps out there that can help you out with your fuel and so forth, but you know, in real life, they have a crewman in there also in their ear telling them a lot of things going on.
Yeah, and it's a lot of... Honestly, sometimes people don't want that. Some people just go on their own. They'll just listen to the spotter that iRacing provides them.
Yep.
Others, they'll trust somebody that's there watching them along, someone that's not just looking directly at you or looking at the leaders telling you their lap time, stuff like that, or how quickly they're closing on a car. They're going to want somebody right in their ears telling them, hey, this is what's going on around the track. This is what's going on with like 4 or 5 cars right around you. Here's what they ran, like which line they ran, because iRacing spotter is not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you, yeah, they're running the bottom of 3 and 4 and gaining time on you. It's just going to tell them, losing the car ahead of you, their gap is now such and such. Whereas an actual person that you know and communicate well with, they're going to tell you, yeah, car in front, he's gaining about 2/10 on you in 3 and 4. He's running middle, low line compared to your high line.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what's going on, Fish, out there too? Yeah, absolutely. You know, admin box, you know, got some good button boxes out there. If you're looking for a great button box, check out the admin box. I know they sell some pretty good stuff, and you know, that goes along with the lines of you know, sim racing in general. From where I've seen it come along, you know, just in over the years we're up in, and you know, the tech that some of these guys have gotten, the equipment that they've got out there now, have come a long way to try to make that immersive feeling in not just iRacing, but in sim racing in general. From what it was, you're never going to get the full real experience, but there is a lot of immersion out there, and a lot of it too, you know, with the wheels and the pedals, and like I said, with the button boxes, and you know, the rigs and VR and so forth and so on. I know a lot of these guys out here probably got a lot of that equipment.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some setups for iRacing that are probably within the tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
then there's someone like me that here uses a $100 wheel, a desk they got free off a marketplace, and like maybe a $1,500 PC, and not even having a wheel stand, or has it, but it's just not what they want, and the seat's just a regular desk chair.
Yeah.
But then there are people out there with like full-on race cockpit type style, mount, pedal mount, and chair they can move back and forth, and 3-4 screens going all the way around them to where they can physically look left and look right to see out the left and right side of their cars.
Yeah. How far you want to go, and it's just like in racing. Back when I drag raced, how fast you want to go, how much you want to spend. They're not going to really say how much you want to spend. Well, I guess it's how much you want to spend to be immersive, because, and in sim racing, I will say there's a few things that will make you faster as a driver, or help you get faster and more consistent. Pedals is the number one thing, but in sim racing, you can have $50,000 worth of equipment, and a guy come out there with a little $500 setup, and he still could beat you. So, little bit of more of a skill, I would say, when it comes to the sim racing side, as opposed to real racing. Not to say there's not skill, but a lot of times it's how fast you want to go, how much money you want to spend.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. I mean, I know I'm younger than you are, Joe, but back in the 80s and 90s, it was whoever built the best car, and whoever built the best car typically had the most money.
Yeah, and there you go, and that still holds true a little bit to today. I mean, with the day and age, with a lot of the sponsors and so forth out there. I mean, you see the big race teams. The Penske's, the Hendricks, and so forth and so on, and NASCAR side. And, you even see it like, what is it, Grand Prix? I think it's Ferrari is a big one there. So,
that one is whoever spends the most typically has a better car.
Yeah, and you usually associate with Red Bull and Ferrari, or so forth in that one. And, and I will say this. Probably the one racing that I would say that not always the big teams win. There are some huge teams in it, and I would say NHRA. Those cars are on the edge so much, you just never know what's going to happen when you come up there. But yet, even in there, they are still the big teams. Schumacher racing. You got Force Racing. Now you got the Tasca out there too, and so forth and so on. A lot of those big time teams that are backed by some manufacturers and whatnot. Yes, they're getting the best parts, but in there, you never know what that car is going to do going down the track. As here, you set it up, and NASCAR, I would say yes, you're going to have a good driver. We've seen it. I know you've seen it in the past here too, Wes. As the Highlands looks like it's trying to get the momentum coming back, but we've seen it even on sim racing. You can have the best. Well, I won't say too much on sim racing, but you can have the best driver, you can have the best equipment out there, and the driver just still can't drive it. And then you can have the best driver and the worst equipment, and then we see they just still can't compete. It's kind of. It works that way in the real world.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes I'm trying to think about a real example of what the case was about a good driver and bad equipment. But typically, if you find a good driver early on in their career, they're going to be put in the best equipment possible for them. And bad drivers and good equipment, I mean, I want to say, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't think of any examples there.
Maybe Kyle Busch would come to mind. I mean, he is a very good driver, but he's struggling in the RCR cars. The RCR cars are not what they used to be, when we're talking about the real side of things. But that's a flip side over here to the sim side here. As you see, now it's kind of heating up a little bit. See, Vincent's wanting to come to the top side and try to get it. Do they drop down? He's going to go down, but the other one's going to say not go with him.
As Ozak a lap car, he's going to drop down in front. That releases Vincent, Hammonds, and I think that's Okafor behind. And those three are going to clear easily. Now all four, including
Medina,
are going to drop down. Leaves, I think that's Alex Carr and Phillips, along with Boyles on the top side now.
It does. They're up on that high side. We'll see if they can get that thing straightened up. Maybe kind of get lined up a little bit here. So not a lot of, guys right now just kind of testing the waters a little bit. They pitted around lap 40, 41. We've seen 44 was the longest. They took some of the pit stops there too. So maybe, we're looking at another 10 to 15 laps before they do another green flag pit stops here, as Vince is the man out front with Hammonds. Just trying to see what he can do out front. And that's another thing. Sometimes you want to say, you know what? Let me see what my car will do out front. How good is my setup when I get out front in clean air? Is it like a brick, or am I pretty good going through the air? I know what it'll do back here in the pack, kind of coming through the field, pushing and so forth. But let me get up here and kind of test the waters and see, do I need to make any slight adjustments or anything to it to make it a little bit better for later on in the race?
Yeah, it typically changes along with the sun, where I'm not exactly sure how it works, but whenever the sun sets, the car gets either tighter or looser because the track will cool down, the air pressure might drop. So there's a whole bunch of different factors that matter whenever you're going in to make adjustments.
Yep.
And you kind of actually want to be ahead on the trend. You don't want to be late, because you might fix it where it was 15 laps ago. You were too loose, so you tighten it up to where it would have felt good then. But then you're still not tight enough, you're still loose.
Yeah. And again, too, you want to be in that right kind of mindset when somebody's drafting behind you. You just mentioned that, too. Number one thing, you don't want that rear end man going everywhere when they're tucked up behind you and so forth. And especially when they give you the bump draft, you want that car to be a little bit stable and just kind of shoot off like a bullet. As you can see right now, Vincent's out front leading with Hammonds. Maybe just trying to test a little bit of the bump draft. You see him giving a little bit there going into the tri-oval. And, I would normally say, ooh, don't do that, kind of bad. But it looks like what I am seeing is, they're able to do it. The car in front of them is able to stay kind of, stable and solid.
Yeah, that's amazing to see. It can tell you that Now, here's the thing. If Hammonds had a massive run and took a major shot onto the back of Vincent, I don't think the car would have been that stable, but he's applying constant pressure. Yeah. And whenever he does get a run, he slowly works his way up to the bumper of the 33. And that's what's making it work. If it was a sudden run and he just came up and gave the 33 a shot, I don't think the 33 might be able to hang on and handle that car as well.
And we'll have to see how that plays out towards the end here. Okafor hanging on the third there with Hammond still in second. Vincent out front. Medina's along with him there in the fourth. We got Carr up in the fifth place. Sanchez there in sixth. Floor holding strong in seventh. Latham there in the eighth place. Grutzmacher in ninth. Cheney, right there in the 10th place spot. So kind of, guys, seesawing their way out through the field. Sometimes they'll be up front, sometimes they'll be in the middle, sometimes they'll be in the back. All right, now I don't think a lot of these guys really, they're not too much worried about where they're at. They're just kind of riding.
Yeah, they're just kind of content, and they're also getting closer to the second round of green flag pit stops. They could go, depending on where they are in the draft, now the further in the back you are, the more you can save. You can go 35 to 40 laps is what I've been told from my inside informant, saying that like I'm the FBI or the Mafia or something. But
the Pit Mafia.
Yeah, the Pit Mafia. You got 35 to 45 laps of fuel on board, depending on where you are in the draft. Leading it or if you're further in the back. And all these guys kind of pitted around lap 40, so we've gone 35 laps now, approaching 40. So they're probably thinking about, hey, it's almost time to pit again. Who am I going with?
And so far, it's been a pretty good solid one here tonight at Daytona. The guys out here racing very well. Vincent up front leading the pack for the moment. It's been kind of shaking around a little bit between different cars. Guys testing the water, some up front, some in the middle, some in the back. And that's been clean and green. So far, that is. Haven't seen no big storms brewing.
No, nothing big going on, but there is a car, I think, out the race, JP Jones, from the same informant, actually, was told he got hooked while they were in a small little 3-car pack and slammed the wall. No caution came out, so his day's done.
Unfortunate right there for him. You know, it kind of happens sometimes, like you said. Yeah, JP Jones didn't catch that one. Never flagged him going off track or anything. Well, good one so far. Big Daytona. I don't mind the Daytona races. A lot of people say in real life is the season really starts after Daytona. You know, when we get into some of the other tracks and whatnot. You know, Daytona's just kind of one of these fun style tracks to watch and see the guys get out here and nose to tail. Driving wide open.
That top side's starting to come alive, but top side, they're coming alive, but hit so close. I'm wondering if they're probably going to try to be, and most of these cars actually were the guys that went longer the first time under the first green flag cycle, so they're probably going to be content running the high side and going long. I'm just starting to wonder, like, where exactly the first cars to pit are going to come from. Are they going to be the ones in the front, the ones in the back? Are they going to come from the middle or all over? Because it's going to disrupt the inside line, and that outside line might just get a huge shot and just all 7 of those cars shoot around and go past everyone else.
Well, you're talking about that Vincent right now. He pitted a lap 41 along with Hammonds at 41, so their pit stop could be coming up here pretty soon. On the flip side there, too, you got Carr. He pitted a lap 44, so he went a few more laps longer, and you see him up there on that top side lane in the 21 machine. He's right about 3 cars back from that high side. There goes Medina trying, but he's going to get shuffled 3 wide. For the first time we've seen 3 wide, that's a daunting feeling right there. There's just nothing you can do. He'll get back in line here, and he does.
And right there, you see kind of, and that's also what helps the outside line get the shoe of the wall there.
Didn't see. It's right there on the bottom right now.
It looked like somebody might have just scraped the wall off before, but the outside line would also help them get a good amount of momentum whenever these cars on the inside, they get too spread out. And I'm not talking like a car length in between or half a car length. I'm talking about you could probably fit 2, 3, 4, 5 cars between them. That just kills their momentum. It gets them a little bit slower, and the outside line can make moves. As Boyle's there trying to go out on his own.
Yeah, he's trying to get back in line. Unfortunately, a lap down back in 23rd. So, now he's able to tuck it back there in line, see what he can do. He's one out there maybe hoping for a caution late, and he would really probably want the caution now rather than, late on, in the race. And give him a little time maybe to see and adjust on the car and see what he needs to do to get back in contention of this thing. But Vincent out front. Getting set here maybe for the second round. The green flag stops here pretty soon. Hammond's holding on there in second. You've got Okafor, the new guy, up here in third. Ricard there in fourth.
Another question, what are these lap cars going to play under the green flag cycle? They're now because of it. Here we go. 6 cars, 7 cars onto pit road. They're going to keep them straight. Oh, hold on to it, Klobucheski.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, lock them up coming on pit road there. We've seen that a couple times tonight. I mean, you try to just get down to the very last minute, very last second, that is, coming on pit road before you have to kind of get it all the way down to pit road speed, which is, I think it's 55 mile an hour at this track. Looks like 4 tires and fuel is going to be the norm here. Now, on fixed setups, you normally would not see 4 tire stops about every time they come into pits here, but on these fixed setups where the tire wear gets used a little bit more than what you would on the fixed side of things, a lot faster because of how they have the car set up. Yeah, they're going to take the 4 tires and fuel, but it puts Alex Carr out front with Medina right there along with them. And see when they can make their pit stop. Now, they came in around lap 44, so they could go, maybe 1 or 2 more laps here, more than those guys just pitted.
And again, you see a top lane starting to form. And I don't know if you want to be trying to start a second lane during green flag stop. Okay, you got to come in. But, and Art Nicotera's.
They caught that lap car wrong spot.
On the inside.
Yeah. Nothing that the lap machine could do. He held his line there. They just came up on him really fast. And unfortunately hurts a guy like Medina, who is coming on pit road. Ooh, he's only got a few people with him, though.
Yeah, Sanchez and I think 80.
Yeah, Gerlach.
88 a Gerlach along with them. So it's a small group, which not a lot of chaos on pit entry to where you might run over another driver. But it's going to be hard to get back up to speed. You might lose time.
Now, that's an interesting pit stop right there by the 88. He's going to take 2 tires. So it's 29. Usually jack that right side up first. That means they're taking 2 tires to take the left side. Medina went with a 4 tire stop. So first time I've seen some 2 tires stop. Although he really didn't save anything on the pit stop wise. But they didn't take 4 tires.
Might have took him 4, but also I think they were just trying to pack in all the gas they could.
Watch your thing again. No, he only took 2 tires.
Gerlach only took 2, but Hammond's in the 29. It looks like he took 4.
Yeah.
Gerlach probably just trying to pack her all of fuel.
Yeah, and even doing that, that's, I don't know. I'd probably be yelling at my crew because that's a 4 tire stop. Time-wise, with a 2 tire stop, he should have been way faster. But nonetheless, comes out. That brings Shane Clore. We'll see him come on pit road, get his pit stop done.
Yeah, this looks to be most of the remaining
2 tires.
A couple other cars in the back that were in the back and came in at a later time that haven't pit yet for their second time.
I'm noticing something here that I've not seen in the past is these 2 tire stops are taking as long as what a 4 tire stop would take.
And it might just be that they're waiting to make sure everybody's off pit road around the same time to get the pack going.
True.
I mean, look, that's a huge gap between these cars coming off the pit road. That's not going to help the slightest. The pack's going to eat them up and pass them for sure. Speaking of which, here they come.
Yeah, I see them coming around. And you're right, that might be the thing, too, that we talk about, making sure you're coming off trying to be grouped up the best you can. And Clore's going to be able to get the tail end of this pack. He should be able to on the draft a little bit. But, yeah, that is one crucial thing. I am noticing that the 2 tire stops are taking just as long as what a 4 tire stop. But, again, we don't know inside the car, like you said. Are they waiting, for the guys to come on? But top three have yet to come in, and here they come on pit road. This will be the last ones here, and I'll hand it back over to hang on to our 18. It's Ginningsman, or excuse me, it's not 18. It's Latham coming on pit road. But I'll hand it back over here to this man Vincent, as he's out front with Hammonds. We talk about green flag stops. Does it split the field up? You see Shane Clore 2 seconds back. The problem is you got this big pack here with Medina. Yeah, they're 4 seconds back from the front side guys up here. And now, on the fixed side of things, and I think we referenced this last time we were here at the plate track. With on the fixed side, when there's a gap between them and there's 3 cars up front, you would think that this pack back here, single file, would be able to run them down. On the fixed side, not so much. What I did see the last time we were here with these open setups, they were able to run down that one, almost like what they should be like in real life style racing. But fixed, not so much. It seems like once you get out front, you're just fast.
Yeah, but what would really help as well is if that front pack, they start getting side by side and racing each other. So that's just going to slow them down over time to allow this second group, which seems, I think, has maybe only 1 or 2 cars more to run them down.
Yeah, I was looking at it there. Vincent, at one time, he didn't have this huge pack. I think they picked up a few of the cars there along with them. So now they've got a big freight train missile up here at the top with Vincent Hammonds, Okafor and company there too. You go back, like I say, 5 seconds back, and that's Medina. He's pulling that pack along with him with Sanchez and company, so they'll try to stay in line. And the last lap was 46.40, 46.99. And then you go a little further on back here, around 15th place spot, another 5 seconds back. Unfortunately, the 2 machines here, I think that's Holloman along with Carr. Those 2 guys, man, are riding. And then Latham way off there. We saw him slip a little bit coming off pit road. And we talked about that earlier. That's a lonely feeling right there. That pack's coming, and they're just going to go blowing right by him. They'll make short work of him when they come by him.
Yeah, and hopefully he's able to grab onto the back of the pack. Well, some of them are going to come down in front, some behind, so he's going to stay with it and just give more momentum to this front little. I say little, but it's about half the field. This front pack's going to gain a little bit more momentum with each car they collect. Same with the pack in the back.
Yep. The 2 little main packs right here. Medina's pulling one, Vincent's pulling the other one. There's 6 machines up here that are the top, but there is a few lap machines mixed in with these guys there, with the one with Vincent and company. But so it's Vincent, Hammonds, Okafor, Phillips, and Ginningsman, with Jorgensen rounding out that top 6. And you go back to the 7th here, and they have a few other ones. Little bump draft going down the back stretch to kind of help out a little bit. Medina gets shuffled out a little bit there.
And thankfully, kind of just got back into line, though he's no longer leading the pack. And I mean, we got one straggler up top, but it's not going to cause too much of a momentum swing. I don't think they're catching the pack in front.
No. Lap times are it's a 90 to 47. Obviously running 46s throughout the field, but yeah, they're maintaining. They're staying about 4 tenths off, it looks like.
Well, it's totally possible that it might just be this front group. They're the race for the win, but we still got another round of green flag pit stops to come if we don't get a caution for it, and that can change everything. Now, the first lap they can pit on and be good with no green-white checkers at least. Looking around lap 110, so in about 15 laps or so. But I think a lot of these guys are going to run it dry on the fuel tank they have right now before they decide to pit. And we've got an outside lane forming in the top pack and a lot of checking up on the bottom. You see that kind of accordion effect. Car in front of them slows down. They hit it to make it go faster, and then they slow down because of that bump. It just kind of sprinkles back and loosens up the bottom line and the top line a little bit better connected.
And you got Latham. That's the one trying to bring that high lane together. He's got Ford machines up on the top. Still Vincent out front leading this thing. Sanchez back here leading this pack as others trying to stay a single file the best they can. Back in the backside here too. Still Vincent in control of the top one up there in the front. Shane Clore's in this mix here too as he gets a little run. Not going to help their momentum chances here by going on the outside, but we'll see what they can do.
Gerlach and Hammond's gonna, or not Hammond, but Sanchez gonna move up. Oh, there we go, 29 round.
Well, first one of the night here, yellow out. Like Westwood got a little piece of that one. Back here and see maybe if we can dissect what happened. Right here with Westwood, he's right there in that 92. We were just talking about it. Maybe a bump draft going on. It's like he did. Just clipped the inside of him, the 29. Got clipped.
And Oil's taking the evacuation plan of just gassing it down pit road.
Yeah. Well, right here. It looks like pretty much just spotter said he was clear, wasn't clear in time, and next thing you know, boom.
I mean, 29 of Sanchez and the 88 of Gerlach, they're going to move up here. They see Clore's lane, Clore coming with a run. They're going to go to block them. And then Gerlach gets a little bit of a shove right there. Sanchez just not quite center. Gerlach almost like completely alongside him. And just Sanchez comes up.
Yeah, just a little hook. Doesn't take much, but that does put us on the caution for the first time here tonight. So we were talking about, pit cycles is still way a little early for the guys. We'll see if anybody does maybe come on pit road because it, maybe it will help you go a little bit further on the track, but it gives us a chance here, folks. We're going to step away, take a commercial break here, and been a good one tonight, though, man. Spartan Sim Racing League here, the Master Series, Daytona here tonight. Vincent's the man out front and leading it. Folks, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
And then if you want to, just a little bit about how the foundation helped you.
I was in a pretty serious deal, as most people know about. It's pretty tough deal, very traumatic for my family. A lot of stuff that we went through that people would never understand. You know, without the assistance from the Steve King Foundation and, you know, several other donors as well, you know, we could have come out of that thing in financial ruin, but it just takes a lot out of your family just to go through rehabilitation, all the medical bills. There's so many hidden expenses and stuff that you would never know about until you actually get involved in something like that. And you know, and even if you help somebody out with 500 or 1,000 or 100, whatever it is, you know, it means a ton to the person, you know, just to be able to live and to get through these things. It takes an ungodly amount of money, time, effort, patience, you know, with the families, the doctors, you know, to be able to get through a traumatic experience. And, you know, with the Steve King Foundation, that makes everything a lot better.
Hi, I'm Blaine Smith, the Executive Director of Team Red, White, and Blue, and I wanted to take a minute just to welcome you on board and let you know that we're proud to have you as a new member of our team. This short video is a way for us to give you an idea of what you can expect from your experience at Team Red, White, and Blue, and also what we expect from you in return. Something that's really, really important to the fabric of our organization is our Eagle ethos. It's just 6 words, but they mean a lot to us, and they guide us in all we do. Those 6 words: passion, positivity, people, commitment, camaraderie, and community are more than just organizational values. They're what we're all about and what we strive to work for in all of our programs and in every single one of our interactions. The next thing I want you to know is that we are an inclusive organization by design. We're open to veterans of all eras, of all ages, branches of service, combat experience, as well as active duty service members, their families, their friends, and just supportive members of the community that come out and take part in our mission. Every single person is important to what we do. All are welcome, and we look forward to seeing you all out there.
Welcome to Team Red, White, and Blue. Thank you so much for joining our team. My name is Mike Irwin, and I have the honor to serve as the Executive Director. When I founded Team RWB in 2010, our initial focus centered on veteran transition and reintegration into civilian life. But as the large-scale deployments have slowed down, the military's ability to support reintegration has improved, hundreds of thousands of veterans have used their GI Bill, and companies have prioritized hiring veterans, the overall mental, physical, and emotional health of the veteran community still has a long way to go. And Team RWB has a major leadership role to play. And that means that we need you. We need you to close out this video and to know that you didn't just join a listserv or download an app. You joined a team composed of real people, over 200,000 strong, who are veterans on active duty in the National Guard or Reserves or civilian supporters. And these people, who we refer to as the Eagles, want you to get involved in Team RWB. Why is it so important for you to become an active member of the team? Because when you do, we know that it will improve your mental and physical health, help you to develop new and meaningful relationships in your life, and provide you with a sense of purpose that comes from belonging to something bigger than yourself. Over the past decade, veterans struggling with the invisible wounds of war and post-military life have told us how important physical fitness has been to them. Running has helped veterans battle nightmares. Triathlons have helped with headaches, and CrossFit has enabled them to sleep better. These fitness activities, along with others, have made them more confident and healthy people. Unfortunately, millions of veterans have forgotten about the power of physical training in their lives. So as you get involved and see the power of Team RWB in your own life, I hope that you feel inspired to reach out to other veterans and encourage them to follow in your footsteps. In closing, I want to again thank you for stepping forward and joining Team Red, White, and Blue. We're fired up to have you on the team, and I know that you're going to be flying the Eagle with pride for a long time.
All right, we're back here, folks. Green flag back on the way. Just the first caution of the night. And right now, that's going to bunch the field up. Everybody made the pit stops. Hammond's out front. So a lot of the guys who, maybe got caught a lap down or a couple laps down, was able to get one back. Some of the guys who were way off the pace back in the back now are able to get back on the pace and set to go here. So far, so good. Remember, everybody being patient, still kind of being that, time frame of wanting to be patient. It looks like a lot of them did take their another pit stop around like 98. Still going to have one more stop, I believe. I'm with it here. Wes, you there? I stepped away for a minute. He'll be right back. Oh, all right. Right now, everybody being patient on the restart here tonight.
Yeah, and it's good to see. I'm not exactly sure if people came into pit or not, but
98 was the last one.
So that was under caution, I believe. So everybody seemed to have come in. So, but still expecting one more stop before the end of the race.
Yeah, I don't think that they can make it all the way here. I don't think you'll see anybody try to make it all the way. But right now, Hammond's the man up front with Vince and Jorgensen there along with him with Okafor and Phillips at top 5. And they're back single file again. Pretty much most of the race they've been, running their patient. Just that one small caution. Little hiccup up to the front side there too, but for the most part, everybody's just been on the P's and Q's.
Sorry, yeah, they have, and started right here. You see them back single file. So let the waiting game commence. Are we going to see them try to make an outside lane though? I think these guys kind of just saw what happened if you raced too early and decided to, let's go back to what we were doing before the first green flag cycle.
Yeah, and everybody's got called back up now, so no urgency to try to say, okay, I got to catch the pack in front of me. Now everybody's bunched back up. He was kind of riding because you're there, and anything can happen here towards the end of it. But Hammond's still a man up front leading it with Vincent in tow and Jorgensen right there along with him. So again, single file running. So what have you seen so far in the race? I mean, anything that's sticking out here at you, the drivers can do a little different? I mean, to me, most of these machines, for right now, I think are looking pretty even. Now, we'll be able to tell a little bit more as we get towards the end of it here, and they kind of bunch up this pack a little bit.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think I've seen a lot. Honestly, I don't think anybody's really trying to be aggressive. They're just waiting until the end of the race. So once that kicks off, we're going to see who knows what. But if you're running that top line, you're going to have to be very heavy on the side draft once it gets made. And also, you're going to want to have a lot more cars. I mean, we saw some people do it with only 3, 4, 5 cars. But in order to really have that momentum, you want, probably closer to 10 to 12.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. To get that high lane going, I think it's going to take quite a few machines, and then them really working together really well on the high side to get it to motor around on that low side, because especially when the low side starts to form up, bunch up a little bit more, going to make it a little bit harder on that high side. Right now, no problems. Coming to the high side, everybody's kind of staying down low for the moment. Now you're starting to see a little bit of
Say
high side
that,
forming.
Coulter said, "Let me try something real quick."
Yeah. Gonna have to close that gap up a little bit. You can see it right there on the bad stretch. It gets a little shot in the back. But they are forming up a line up on the top side since they come to the front.
And I mean, they are working right there. You can see what I was talking about by saying they're going to need to use a side draft. Salter, as soon as he got towards Phillips, he got as close as he could without really touching him. Just pulling some air away, not really gaining speed for himself, but creating the car on the inside he's side drafting off of to lose speed to pull him back. It disconnects that inside lane, allows your lane to get momentum as long as they don't do it. As long as somebody on the inside doesn't do it back to you, that's how you can really kind of climb up here along the outside. It's right there, Okafor really up high, kind of almost in the middle of Salter's lane, and it's going to cause the 28 to check up a bit. They're going to lose a good amount of momentum here, almost allowing Phillips to get side by side again.
Yeah, Okafor's thinking about it. He's going to get a run towards the front there. Like I said, in the high lane, kind of stalls out. Now some of them going down low. He's going to stay on the high side there. His 29 machine there. That's Sanchez going to get a run. Does he stay behind him? That'll be the question. And we'll see if we can get that high side going. You see Vincent up there kind of peeking out every once in a while.
Yeah, I think he's really waiting for that high line to get maybe alongside Jorgensen. And once they get there, he's probably going to decide to poke his nose out and see if he can get around the 26 of Hammond.
Yeah, it is. Vincent right now holding strong there in the seconds. Hammond's out front. Sometimes it pays to, I don't know, try to see if you can pick up the high side. Sometimes doing that, it don't pay off.
It can really be the case of take the gamble don't work, and all of a sudden, instead of going up 1 or 2 positions, instead you fell back 3, 4, 5, or 6. Look at that further back in the pack. Grutzmacher decided to make 3 lines. He had a rocket ship for a moment there.
Yeah, he does. You see the high lane coming up.
He wanted it.
Slowly but surely that high lane's kind of creeping there.
Yeah, it's not going to be a sudden burst of everybody's all of a sudden like 10 miles an hour faster. No, it's going to be this small, slow crawl. Just having to play the side draft right, having to keep each other as close together and hoping the inside lane separates to where you can have better bit of momentum. But even then, it's not going to be your 2 seconds you're right there next to Hammonds for the lead. No, it's going to be 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 laps.
We'll see. They're climbing up there ever so slightly. Slowly but surely. Still Hammond's out front leading this one. There's a stalemate on that top side there for a moment.
I think it's really Okafor. He's doing a good job. He sees when the 28 is Salter there, he gets a good run, and he's just gonna not exactly completely come off the bottom, but he's gonna right there. He's gonna see it just a little bit. Comes up, gives a little bit of side draft to the 28. Doesn't do it so much as where someone can get up his inside. That kind of breaks the momentum of the 28. Right there, you see it definitely entering the corner. you just slowly smooth up, and it's going to pull back the 28 back to the 29, and I think the 29's even got his nose a little bit in.
Yeah, as long as you stay tucked up, he should be okay. If he gets out there in that clean air, it might affect him a little bit. Right now, he might be okay. Yeah, it looks like he does have a little bit mashed in a little there. Well, he stays tucked up, he should be okay. If he tries to go out, but, you know, I've said time and time again, you don't have to really pass the guy. You just got to get your nose out front.
Most races at Daytona and Talladega, even Atlanta at this point, if it's not caution come to the checkered flag, it's a win by maybe like an inch or two.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time again. Hammond's still leading it. Highland is still trying everything they possibly can to get up front, win this thing. Or maybe not so much win it, see if they can't get something formed up. Still a little early on here, though. Lap 116, though, getting down to the closing one here at Daytona. And a good solid race here with the Spartan Sim Racing League here tonight.
From here on out, I'd say if they pit, they're good to go for the green-white checkers. They're safe if they come in now. They're good all the way to the end. You got to use all three. But I don't think they're going to pit until it's absolutely needed. And then I think they might. We've been seeing them take 2-4 tires. Oh, around goes to 72 a Clore.
Oh, man. Shane Clore, man, around. We just saw it right there, and that's a big one, too. Like several other cars involved.
For a Phillips.
Let's go back and see if we can't kind of dissect what happened here on this one. We'll watch here from Clore's point of view. He's on that high line and maybe some bump drafting going wrong, or
Okafor fully came up. Oh, tight squeeze in front of
72.
Phillips there.
Oh, yep, just a
Had
bump
stopped
draft.
there a
Wow.
little bit. Oh, massive shot to Hammonds.
Yeah, so that, it kind of looked like just about, bump draft going wrong. You see Phillips been involved with that one. The other two machines, and then he got tagged in the rear. Watch it again here. Kind of unusual because we've seen all night long bump drafts, and that one didn't look kind of bad or anything. It's just that car just took off again, maybe. I don't know. I mean, we've seen a couple of those. Maybe that Clore has got that car a little bit, looser than what it was, earlier in the race to make a little bit more speed, and around she went. And the cautions. We're only the second time here tonight. But a good solid race, though, and now they should be within the pit window.
I mean, they've been within it since just maybe 10 laps since we went green. But I'm expecting everyone here, everybody's going to take a full tank of gas here. I'm be interested to see if they take tires or not. But this could be the very last stop, the money stop. If it goes green to the end, well, good luck whoever gets the run the best and manages it.
Absolutely. So green flag, and I think you're going to see a lot of 4-tire changes here. Obviously, pack it in full of fuel, and no, actually Vincent's going 2 tires. I remember earlier I was talking about how they, I definitely agree with you on what you were saying, was how long it was taking for those 2-tire stops. I mean, these are 7-8 second stops. That's a typical 2-tire stop. Before they were doing 15 seconds, 14 seconds, which was 4 tire stops. But looks like most everyone, the top 10 or 9, all took 2 tires. You go back here maybe to Latham, was the first one who took 4 tires, 15. But a lot of them opting for the 2 tire stop.
Yeah, and it hasn't been too long since they went green, so they didn't burn as much fuel to where they needed to stay on pit road so long. So they could have gambled with it.
Absolutely. Vincent, Okafor, Carr. The line back up, see if we can go back green. Do some side by side, so not bad. Only the second caution here tonight. All right, line them up 2 by 2. Go sit back green. And a good one here at Daytona. We go to Atlanta next.
My question here is,
What's that?
it's the new Atlanta, so Echo Park Speedway, the
Yeah.
super speed 1.5-mile hybrid.
Yep, so it'll be the, like you said, it's going to be the new one. So it should be smooth there.
I was gonna say in real life it's not so smooth now, but this is the version as soon as the repave happens. So very, very high banks, very fast cars. Gonna be interesting nonetheless. And there, I definitely am gonna expect a lot more 3-wide racing, but I'm not 100% sure on it.
All right, by green.
Hammonds gave an absolute shove to the 33 of Vincent in front before hitting the line. Those two, they're going to clear easily down. Grutzmacher not able to fit, though. He wanted to follow but couldn't. That's going to allow, I think he might have it was a small gap, like I was about to say, but couldn't take advantage of it. Hammonds and Vincent now, they're basically tandeming up here at the front. Here comes Okafor to get onto the train. 3 cars basically nose to tail pushing that inside line. This is somewhere I'd say where if something were to happen, it'd be here. These 3 cars, they're right on top of each other. There we go. Okafor lets off a little bit. Now he's right back. It doesn't even have to be coming from Vincent and Hammonds. It could start with Okafor. If he's off by a millimeter, translated up to Hammond's. Next thing you know, Vincent's around. So it's a dangerous game, but it can pay off well, and it did. Now the three kind of separate to allow their cars to breathe.
Well, you got Vincent out front leading it. Got Hammond's right there, man, tucked up on his backside. No for 4 there, too. They might be starting a little dice it up just a little bit now. Kind of feeling out process here for the top guys.
Yeah, we're within 30 laps to go. I mean, we've got a decent-sized outside lane going. I think that's Alex Carr leading it with Grutzmacher behind him. And within 30, I think this is where the guys are going to test out the water, see who they can run with, who they can't. Bumping and shoving as you see these top three lock bumpers once again.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a time where you start thinking, okay, who can I work with? How's my setup? Is it still been good for getting up to the front? Just in case, man, we have one more incident here and you're able to go on pit road to do an adjustment. If not, you've got what you got. Kind of see what your car is. You see the high lane coming to life. Now they're closing up those gaps a little bit. Not quite as far off from each other.
No, they're not. Greg and Alex Carr, both the two leaders up top. And Grutzmacher, he restarted up there, fell back a little bit, but now gaining momentum on the inside lane, not quite formed up enough. These first 4 or 5 on the top, almost nose to tail, bumping each other. And slowly gaining, they were alongside Salter. Now they're alongside Gerlach, going to look to get beside that 47 of Okafor.
Yeah, so far, man, so good. Vincent's out front. High side's trying to see if he can't bring the freight train up on that top side to life. But it's still all Vincent Hammonds for the moment. Getting down here to, like you just said, man, the closing laps here tonight at Daytona. And about 25 to go. And a lot of times, most tracks, I'd say, man, run what you brung. Business is picking up here. It's to that point where you're talking about, who do I need to work with? Where do I need to be? Can I come from, let's say, 10th place on back here? And that's where you kind of see where the high line is. And can I bring this thing to the front and win?
Yeah, we're seeing great shoving as well, if I can talk. Great shoving as well from some of these cars. Kind of an accordion effect. Instead of backing it up, it's kind of going forward. One bumps the next car in front, and it just carries on along up the train right there. And it's a good way to move forward, though it creates a little bit of gappage as well, which can kind of lose your momentum. But if they can time it just right to where as soon as they fall back from shoving the car in front, they get another one behind, that's going to keep up the momentum, keep them going forward. Right there, you see it up top. Grutzmacher right into the back of Alex and to the back of Greg, and by the time Alex Carr got into the back of Greg Carr, Grutzmacher was there with another push.
Yeah, it is. You can see the high lane slowly but surely creeping up on that top side there, trying to see if you can't get it going. Carr's the man that's pulling that freight train, and still Vincent's holding strong down on the bottom side. I know he's communicating with Hanneman a little bit, saying, okay, they're watching that top side lane come. Let's see if it's going to fizzle out or they're going to keep coming.
I don't think it's fizzling out. I think they're going to keep on coming. And here it comes. Great shove by the 21 to the 36. 47 of Okafor back into the backside of Hammonds, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Greg Carr right side by side, too wide for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the question is going to be, man, does Carr go down? Oh, he might get shuffled out if you don't watch it and get 3 wide. We haven't seen 3 wide tonight yet. That doesn't mean it's not coming. But car does go to the point. Thing is, does he drop down or does he stay with his dancing partner?
I think he's going to stay up top until Alex Carr is clear through as well. Then both of them are going to drop to leave Grutzmacher and Medina up top. Here we are, the two of them clear, going to move down. And now let's see if Grutzmacher and Medina can do the same thing.
Absolutely, man. Grutzmacher gets a good push on the top side. Medina's there with him with the 37 machine in tow. Zozak. And a little bit of 3 wide back here in the back.
And that's really sketchy because Brother Cheney right there in the 54, he was kind of between the lanes. It was almost 4 wide for a split second. And still sitting there looking like it's going to be 3 wide. Binder kind of in between lanes this time. He's going to fall behind the 54. He does but doesn't. Now he does.
Yeah, he was right down that rear quarter panel. I was kind of getting a little bit worried there, but good shove up front, side by side for the lead. Grutzmacher on the top side, Carr there on the bottom side. Both of them have, good single file push. But the problem is you only got the 3 machines up top along with the 4. The reason they're trying to hang on is...
Here comes the third line.
Yeah, we see the third line coming in. Well, they get there to them, though.
And now it's a question for Grutzmacher and Medina and Zozak up front. Are they going to stay in the middle or are they going to go high?
Yeah,
If they don't choose quick enough, they might just get blown on by.
Yeah, well, right now you already see you've got the 54 machine up there. How much momentum does he have with Cheney and company? And, what do you do? And, man, Grutzmacher with a move that probably just did not help him.
No, it didn't. He's got put into the sucker hole. He's going to back all the way up to the 13. And now Zozak, he's going to kind of filter in there as well. Medina going to stay high with the 54 of Cheney. And all while this is going on, that whole entire top area, they've lost a load of time. And Greg and Alex Carr can kind of breathe a little bit easier.
Yeah, and this is where I was talking about, how well is your car pushing, pulling, how do you got it set up, who you're working with. Now you're starting to see it. Did I make the right adjustments? Did I do the right thing? And, pretty much, though, you've got to get there to the front. If you see the 69 machine there, too, Cole Macheski jumps to the outside. He's going to have a little bit more helping the partners as here comes a man on the outside. And they're going to try to see if they can overtake Carr. And they're going to. Vincent is.
Yeah, Alex and Greg Carr, as soon as Cole Macheski and Okafor jumped to the outside, they had no one behind them to help, so they're going to fall right on back to Gerlach. And these first 5-6 cars going to easily get on past and drop down. Medina hesitated, but eventually does it.
Absolutely. Right now, so far out front, Vincent is in tow. We got Hammond along with him there. Okafor, Cole Macheski, Salter, and Kupner. Now they're trying to see if we can get that high line going back at it.
It's going to be a whole different group up top this time, at least at the front. Zozak with Cheney behind, then Clore, then Dylan Grutzmacher. And they've got about 4 or 5 cars to make up from all the time they lost when they were 3 wide.
Yeah, it is. Vincent's still out front in this one. It feels like that's where he's most comfortable at. Just a little bit of gap between him and that second place machine. It's not going to help their anything, man, because you're going to see that top side get a good push and pull and get a good run to him on the outside there. Down by 17 to go. You see Vincent out front, Hammonds, Okafor, Macheski. The high side kind of fizzled a little bit again.
You see it, momentum kind of changes as cars jump in and out of it.
Yeah.
And Cheney's going to take it around the outside of Zodiac. He doesn't want to follow behind. I think he feels like he's being held up.
And that takes me back to how you feel like how your car's set up. Is it better, maybe pulling the pack or pushing the pack? And if you feel like it's, you're getting held up a little bit, you might try to see if you can jump out in front of that car and go. A few other machines right there too. Going to take it to the high side. See if they can't maybe line it up and get that outside lane going.
And now we see Blair Holland. He kind of joins it. Janie right on the rear bumper. Careful with the pushes, though. Get off center just the littlest of bit, and that car's going to go around, and we got another caution. Meanwhile, Binder, he's kind of, well, not exactly sticking on the line on corner exit, but no harm, no foul. Everybody stays straight.
Yep. No caution, like you said, but Cheney's still up there on the top side. They are trying to get that high lane going, but kind of broke up the momentum for the moment. As Vincent's still the man up front, Hammond's along with him with Okafor, Cole Macheski, and Salter.
And here we go. This is what I consider crunch time now. We're within 15 to go, or just about to be 15 to go. So now everybody, I think this is when the aggression is really going to start to pick up. You're going to see people jumping in and out of line, taking runs if they got them, maybe even backing up to start a run to take it to the outside.
Yeah, and from what I've seen so far, you're going to have some help to get that outside lane going. We've got Vincent, Hammonds, Okafor, Kolmacheski, Salter. Topside machines as they're coming down here to the closing laps. We're will be 14 to go in this one.
Go, Greg Carr, see if he can do it again. Alex Carr jumps in front of him. Those two, we saw them take the high line to the front earlier. Now you see Medina, he's going to hop up as well, the inside line. They've got whatever they got right now, but then no support behind. The 48 is going to get a huge run off of two.
Here comes Medina. He's going to take advantage of that low line not being lined up. As now they all get going with the bump draft. You can just see once that low line gets, all nose to tail, that high lane just kind of fizzles. But, man, Medina's going to get shot out of the way here, and he's going to fall back.
Yeah, and hopefully just able to get behind somebody eventually. It looks like Zozak was trying to let him in, will let him in. That's going to ruin the momentum on the top even more, as it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I feel like in order for them to bring that high lane, I know the urgency of guys are like, man, if I pass the car, maybe I can get going. But at some point, you're going to have to, trust the formula, and that is just stay right there behind them and bring it to the front.
I'm just looking right here right now at these cars. I mean, Vincent and Hammonds, both of them, Team Watson Racing. Okafor, he's kind of on his own in that sandwich, actually. He's got two Team Watson cars in front of him, two behind him. So question is, if it ever comes to making a move, if he's the one to start it, are they going to go with him? Or if they start it, is he going to be able to block them?
Yeah, and that brings us back to the thing about, having teammates, not having teammates, but looks like up front. Ooh. Boy. Thought he caught the back end there, but a little beating on the back bumper there a little.
Just a little bit. And meanwhile, coming back, there's Alex and Greg Carr. They've got their teammate behind them now, and John Binder. So these three teammates looking to put a challenge to these four of Team Watson Racing plus the 47 of Okafor.
Absolutely. The high lane's trying to pull up to the front here. You'll see Vincent, man, out front leading this one. And the question is Vincent 100% committed to that inside? If the outside's able to get a run, does he try to jump up there?
I'm not exactly sure with you. We're within 10 to go, and I'd say within 5 to go, all line/teammate talks are maybe off. Typically at Super Speedway, that's the way I see it, but I'm not sure if they're going to do the same thing here. but I'd say he's pretty content with the 26 behind him.
Yeah, I'm with you right now. I mean, Hammond's right there along with it. I think the question would be coming about where Okafor is. Does Okafor try to jump up there with the momentum of that high lane coming and see if he can't get the run with them? Because, at some point, those two machines of Hammond and Okafor's got a decision. What do I do? Do I stay riding back here behind Vincent, or do I try to pull out and try to get some help? And there you go. That answers that question with Okafor.
And he's going to take the run beautifully. Alex Carr giving him a great shot. Got to be careful there. And now Okafor gets thrown out of line. So now you got 3 teammates on the inside fighting the 4 teammates actually on the inside fighting the 3 in the middle.
Ooh. A little bumping and banging going on in the back there. He's trying to get in the line.
Oh!
Yeah, he made it skinny right there. And meanwhile, still the high lane going. Vincent's still the man out front, though.
Yeah, he is. And right there, Alex Carr trying to do every little bit he can. Side drafting. Here comes Greg and John with a good bump. The 3 of them almost combined down this long back stretch as a single car as they were nose to tail. Gonna get up to the sides. Cole Macheski almost to the quarter panel of Hammonds.
Crashing.
Oh, that's Okafor.
Oh, man.
Tyler Cheney. Whole lot of cars.
Yep. Let's go back and see if we can decipher on what happened on this one here. Like you said, a few machines there, unfortunately, involved with this one. And see the green machine there, Okafor, who got shuffled back. He's on the high side right now. He looks pretty strong. Got a run coming. Comes up and, just got tagged in a rear quarter. Nothing he could do.
That's just a bad. We talk about it, bad taps, bad shoves, and bad bumps. To be specific, bad bumps going wrong and such.
Yeah,
that's the case. The 72, I think that was the 72 of Clore. Just got pretty much his nose on what would have been the rear lights of the car, and that's not where you want to hit, and that's sent the 47 around.
Yeah. Puts us under caution, and you'll see it right there. Yeah, just got that right left corner of it, and Medina trying to slow down. Yeah, he did hit the wall hard. Wow.
I'd say that car might be toast with how hard it hit the inside wall.
We'll see if it's smoking.
It might be good.
Not smoking, but he's got an awful lot of damage on the front nose of it. Okay, so do you come on pit road or not? It's like some in the back do.
Everybody that just got involved with that, they're going to come on to hopefully repair their cars the best they can. Meanwhile, if you're the leaders, stay out.
Yep, and you do. You see Vincent and company stay out. This might put us in green-white checkered. I think it will. We might get close to it.
Get really close, and if so, I'd say it's within regulation, so we'd still have 3 more attempts afterwards.
Well, Vincent right now out front leading. Hammonds, Carr, Cole Macheski, and then Greg Carr. So both the Carr guys up there, Alex and Greg. That's your top 5. Then Salter, then Bender, Gerlach, Zozak, and Nicotera. I haven't really seen much of, but that's your top 10. So we'll see who all come on pit road and who all did not. You got to go back to Heilemann, the first one there. And then obviously a lot of the guys involved in that wreck pitting here. This should put us, I'm going to say, in a green-white checkered, but if we get back going green before it, it's going to be close.
from what I've heard from race control, it's going to be a green-white checkered within regular regulation, so 3 more chances afterwards.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, because it takes so long to go around with these caution laps and so forth. Whew. Now's when it's let's get going. So what do you think?
I mean, if you're Hammonds, you're going to want to slow down that inside line the best you can to allow your teammate Vincent to get dropped down in front. But at the same time, he's got the 3 teammates of Team Birdie Racing: Greg Carr, Alex Carr, and John Bender. I think it's Binder. Yeah, I think it's Binder. Those 3 are lined up directly behind him, so they might not give him the time to do so. That's not something that's like uncommon at a super speedway. If your teammates lined up side by side on the first row, typically you would let off to allow your teammate to either come down or come up, whichever one you decide. But with that being said, I would not rather the top flying car slow down to let the Hammonds come up, because then that allows the 3 teammates to go right by you. And also, not a green-white checker.
Yeah, that's what I know. It was going to be close within probably about a lap or so. So not quite in that green-white checkered. So it means it opens up the door for 1. But obviously, if they make it to the white flag, it's an official race. Won't matter at that point, but lights off on the pace truck, ducks off on pit road. See what Vincent can do up front here with Hammonds. In the restart zone, we're back in the green.
Right there, Hammonds, he's going to slow down, and I mean, he's really slow. He's trying to let all 3 of his teammates in front of him. Vincent's clear, Kolmacheski clear, Salter clear. All 3 of them probably going to hit that double yellow line. They do, and now they're going to get going, and those Team Birdie cars, they are probably mad.
Yeah, you got Vincent out front, though, with Kolmacheski right there behind him. How long do they stay tucked up with each other?
I'm not sure, but right there you see the frustration coming out a little bit. Alex Carr just all over the back of the 28 of 26 of Hammond. Got him a little loose. Alex Carr got shot up the track, though, out of line.
Yeah. Oh, Carr around the back.
That's Art Nicotera, I think it was.
Yep. He gets it going. So we stay green. Just all tore up race car. And make that up white flag though. Vincent's still out front. Eileen's coming.
They are. Alex Carr and John Binder, they're leading that. Shane Clord, Dylan Grutzmacher, Tyler Cheney, and Jude Okafor lined up with them. But it's going to take a lot to get past these 4 teammates locked in on the bottom.
Yeah, those teammates down there are probably going to try to protect that bottom lane and work well with each other. Don't see any one of those maybe jumping out, but you can still see that high lane coming in. Man, just as the high lane was coming in, they went 3 wide, and, well, that's going to mess up a little bit of the momentum, I think.
Well, those 3, they're kind of ripping it right now. Oh, and then leaving the 54 out to dry.
Wow.
Shane Clord, push from Dylan Grutzmacher. they're still going forward looking to make a pass for the lead.
Yeah, and we talked about it, Clore, man. 23 spots up here, the 3 wide back in the back here. White flag, this one's official. Last lap here tonight. Who's going to win it? Does Vincent got enough? Does he got his teammates to work with him? He's going to try to control the lanes up front. But the Shane Clore got something, man, to steal this one.
And I'd look for this momentum off of 2, not going to be quite right, but the main thing coming off of 4, if you're going to do it, it's that time.
Bumping and beating.
I'm going to poke out.
Yeah, bumping and beating in final turns, final time. Vincent's out front. Does his teammate stay with him and there, Cole Macheski, and try to push him to the win? Nah, the teammate try to drop out. Not going to happen. That's going to actually help, man. Hammond's right there to third, as it's going to be Vincent winning it. Cole Macheski in second. Hammond's coming home in third.
And,
Wow.
I mean, that's the super speedway experience. Everybody's nice and calm until the end. Hopefully that's the plan at least. And then final 5 laps, chaos.
Yep.
And it wasn't chaos that we typically see of like wreck after wreck after wreck. I mean, these guys kept it straight for the most part. There was a lot of door banging, beating on each other, leaning on each other. But 3 wide we saw with a good effort. We saw Clore and Grutzmacher take it to the very top of the track, drive around Carr and Binder there and try to look for the win, but just couldn't get it.
Absolutely not, but man, Vincent outstanding tonight, got this win. Teammates, 1, 2, 3. Let's bring Hammonds up. Let's get a word with him.
Hey, Alexander Hammonds, Wesley and Joe in the booth. You got a copy?
A little quiet, but I got you.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm on a secondary setup, but great run from y'all over there in Team Watson Racing. I mean, the last half of the race, it seemed like the 4 or 5 of y'all almost at points were inseparable. And then coming right there, white flag, you had 4 lined up and just kind of set sail.
Yeah, absolutely. We did just an absolutely great job playing the team game there. You know, hats off to Thomas, Chris, David, Jude for helping out as well. You know, we had a great showing for us. It's really good to see such a good setup pay off.
And coming off of 4, I mean, you saw the high line coming. Were there ever thoughts about any of y'all poking out to try and go get the win off of Chris?
I think we wanted to see one of us win. So I think if the best opportunity for ourselves presented itself and we were able to get up top cleanly, then I think one of us would have. But the outside was coming on pretty strong, so we didn't really quite have the chance to do that. I think David peeked out there a little bit at the end just to try to see what was available to him there, and I think provide a little bit of a sacrifice and hold them up a little bit as well. But yeah, we really wanted to make sure that it was a Watson victory tonight, and we managed to bring home a 1-2-3 finish.
Yeah, well, Joe, you got anything for him?
I mean, what an outstanding finish, like you just said, and team effort there, too. We talk about it a lot here at Daytona, but, I mean, was there any time that you maybe thought about jumping out there and trying for that win?
Yeah, I didn't really have the chance because the outside line got up and running so quickly there off the restart that, it just really wasn't an option to me because I had someone on my outside the entire time. And I'm more than happy to stay on the inside in that situation and just push a teammate to the win.
Push indeed, you did. You got anybody you want to thank for a good finish?
Again, just shout out to my teammates there. Shout out to I believe my parents watching this. But yeah, Team Watson Racing setups, absolutely amazing setups. Case in point tonight.
Well, there you go, third place man. There's old Hammond's bringing it home. Let's bring up the second place man here. Let's get a word with him. Cole Macheski.
Hey, Thomas, Wesley and Joe up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got you guys.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, Team Watson Racing. We just spoke with Hammonds right there, talking about how all of y'all were wanting at least a Team Watson car in victory lane. So, kind of playing the team game there. What was your thoughts on that last lap off of 4, seeing the high line possibly come up, and even off of 2?
Oh, I was just holding it down. Just didn't want to let go of his bumper at all. I was just telling them behind me, just keep pushing.
So there was no thought of all about like, hey, maybe I can go get this win. Just play the team game, make sure it stays in the camp.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Great run from you as well. I mean, there were points where you were up front and then you got shuffled out of line, dropped back, but always managed to find your way back up towards the front. And those green flags stops, especially that last one before the cautions came out, kind of separated out the field in 2 different packs that weren't exactly gaining on each other. Did y'all think it was going to go green to the end there, and how were you going to manage?
Well, so yeah, early on in the race, I was having packet loss problems, so I just dropped myself to the back, and then that cleared up. And then on one of the green flag stops, I sped, which sucks. But then was able to get hooked up with them after another green flag stop and just stay out in front of them while they were leading, so I didn't go down 2 laps. And just fought and clawed from there.
Well, I mean, fought and clawed you did. Joe, you got something for him?
Yeah, like you said, man, fighting and clawing back here, never give up on this race, and they got you up here to second now. And I mean, was any time maybe you thought there in the last couple laps, hey, look, maybe I'll try for the lead here?
No, I was committing to pushing.
Well, hey, there you go. That's teamwork out there tonight. I mean, got you a good finish here at Daytona. Got anybody you want to thank for it?
Definitely, Alex, Chris, Salter, and Art Nicotera. We were just all pushing, just trying to stay together. And Team Watson, just hell of a set this week.
No doubt, right there, second place man, Cole Macheski. Bring the man up here and had it all locked down. Vince, enjoying the booth, got a copy.
Gotcha.
Well, he is out front, right time, right place. Got the win here at Daytona, man. How was you feeling coming on that last lap?
All hats off to Thomas. He was pushing the wheels right off this thing. Alex was pushing me earlier in the race. I was pushing him. We all worked really good together in the draft.
Yeah, that's another thing that we talk about, teamwork here on plate races. I mean, what was, the conversation there coming to the last lap? I mean, he was out front. Was there any point, Cole Macheski pretty much answered that, hey, he was committed to pushing you, but was that the game plan actually there coming to the checker?
Yeah, our game plan was to take the top 3 podium spots.
And then
that was our hope.
Wow, indeed you did. I mean, 1, 2, 3. That was an awesome performance between you guys out there. So, I mean, how was you feeling in that car throughout most of this race?
Very comfortable. I was comfortable being pushed. I was comfortable pushing. Low line, top line, no issues at all. This set this week for Team Watson, I could push so easy and so long without temps.
Definitely did. Got you out front, man. Wes, you got anything? I mean, nothing much. Just absolute domination. We saw you take it you didn't take it 3 wide, but you saw you take it to the high side to get around cars when you felt like you needed to. And just none of these cars looked unstable. They all seemed planted all throughout the field. And just a good showing by everyone.
Yeah, I mean, the drafting model is good. Could be a little bit better, but man, we could push each other for a long time without temps worrying. And we've practiced so much where, I know how much air to give them without giving the top run too much of a draft.
Yeah, and I know for a long time it was kind of the 4 of y'all, you, Alex, Thomas, and then Salter. all kind of lined up together with Okafor between you, and were y'all all planning on working together, talking with Okafor throughout the race?
We didn't get the chance to talk to Okafor, but we knew he was with us, and so if we had to clear a line, we were waiting for him to clear also. But all four of us were in communications all race, like, hey, we're going to pit on this lap. Even when Thomas and them were about to go a lap down, we slowed down to keep them in front of us in case the caution came out, and that helped Thomas because it did.
Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely did, and great run by all of y'all. 1, 2, 3, almost had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and David Salter kind of looked like he played unsung hero, jumping up in front of the outside lane as it was coming to slow their momentum to make sure y'all stayed that way.
Yeah, he was going to jump up and ride the outside lane forward, but it didn't work the way he planned. Thomas gave me such a good push, and with Alex pushing Thomas, it was us 3 cars were going to be hard to beat.
Oh man, I mean, it sounds like y'all had a great plan, and some things went the way it did, some things didn't go exactly the way they might have thought. But before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out to, sponsors, friends, family?
Yeah, wife and kids for letting me sit in the sim as long as I do every week. You guys for putting on a great broadcast. Team Watson for giving us great sets to run, comfortable sets. Great communications between all the Watson guys. It's a great community. And Dave for putting the league on. Can't forget Dave.
Well, thank you, man. We hope you have a good night. Go celebrate with the team. But don't celebrate too hard. The week's coming up. But have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
There you go. Winner tonight, man. Old Vincent bringing it home, folks. Let's look at the unofficial results order here. As a winner tonight, man, Chris Vincent putting it in victory lane. Cole Macheski there in second. Hammond's coming home in third. Latham pulling it off there in the fourth with Salter up in fifth. Holloman rounding out the sixth there with Shane Clore coming home in seventh. Gerlach in eighth. Grussmacher there in the ninth place with Greg Carr in 10th. Look through the rest of it here. And well, I'll tell you what, Wes, man, it was a good, solid race. And what he said right there, cars looked very planted, very very stable driving wise all throughout this race. But man, what a good clean finish there.
It was, and I knew something was going to happen. Not exactly a giant wreck coming to it, but something was going to happen. Someone was going to poke their nose out. Might have seen 3 wide, and we saw it. But it didn't give us that exciting finish that I think everybody expects whenever they hear like Daytona or Talladega Super Speedway, where you got 3 cars like inches apart across the line or a giant wreck right before it. But it was still a good race, that ending. I mean, we thought maybe the outside line would have gotten up there, but as soon as Salter jumped up, it just died out and kind of let these 3 cruise to the podium.
Absolutely. Teamwork, man, prevailed here tonight. Vincent, Kolmacheski, and Hammonds brought her home. And here tonight at Daytona, well, folks, hope you enjoyed it for the Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. We're going to leave Daytona here. Everyone, have a good night.